Testing the mic, and the mic works, and we'll see if I still work. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming today. What a great day to be here, and for braving the threat of a storm, but I still think we need the rain, don't we, instead of just the thunder. So thank you again for everyone for being here today. And we want to also thank Pastor Lauren Hauger and the United Methodist Church for letting us continue to be in this wonderful facility, the church, and playing Cheryl Steinborn's personal piano. Thanks for letting us loan that out, Cheryl. And also want to recognize both Jared and Teresa Taggart, which Jared is back in the back there, and Teresa's in here with all the prodigies. And what a wonderful parents. Can you imagine the supportive parents that would be required for 4 prodigies, not one? 4 pianos in their home, not just one. And I think Cheryl only has one in her house, don't you? But, and Margie and Ron Taggart, they're very supportive grandparents who are right there in the back waving. So thank you for, they live on Long Lake and are also members of the church here along with the rest of us. But again, thank you for being here. You just have to open this up and read the accomplishments of the 4 Taggart children. And it goes way past what's on the page here, as we've had the opportunity to witness their growth. Do you realize Emma first performed here at age 5? Emma, check all of your math skills, because she turned 21 on Thursday. How many years is that they've performed here for us? What's the number? 16. So to have them continue to bless us with being here, I think is quite exceptional. I think you all do as well. I really was going to say some more about Emma, but I don't think you can top what you can read. But certainly she's going on to masters, and she right now currently is with Manus. And she did put one note in here for me, inviting everybody here, if they wish, to come and stay with her in New York City. Now, it kind of says that in a way, if you want to interpret the way I said it. But she would love to have you. And she said, if anybody's interested in visiting, this is the way it reads, so come and see her. But she has won so many prestigious awards over her journey of music and classical. And to be around these 4 children is just such an honor and such a remarkable thing. Not to outdo, of course, Jacob, who is 16 years old, has already completed his freshman year at Bethel at age 16 with a business and finance major focus. And not only is he going around the state of Minnesota, and he's also competed in the world, he also he's a caddy at the Hazelton Golf Course, and had a chance at when they had the PGA tournament on Wednesday to caddy for some notable folks. So he and I played actually golf with him. And Margie, is it okay to say that Jacob and Bob beat Margie and Ron? Is that okay? That's the only time I could say that in all of our years of playing against Margie. Celia, my goodness, not only is she also fallen in the prodigy of pianist, but she went and won not only the state, but the regional level in 3 different track events at the age of 10. 3 different, and went to Eugene, Oregon, and competed there in the Junior Olympics. And she actually challenged me last year, and not because I'm smart, but I sensed something when she said, let's race. And I said no. So that was a good thing. And Sophie and Cecilia are also both competing in gymnastics. Now just think about the dedication, not only for running, but gymnastics, but also their studies, straight A, and in addition to that, the practice time that they certainly all go through. And I guess can I announce this, Jared? All 4 yesterday competed in the Minnesota State Fair Talent Competition, and all 4 placed and are going on in the competition. All 4 children. So now what I'm going to do is turn the program over to the Taggart Four. So I guess they used to call themselves the Taggart Squared because it was Emma and Jacob, but now they're the Taggart Four. So Emma, I know you're back there somewhere, and thank you all again for coming.
Hello, everybody. It is so wonderful to be back. I really think that performing at Hubbard is one of my favorite days of the year, so I hope you're just as excited as I am. We have a very cool program planned, lots of solo pieces, a couple of duets for one piano, and one duet for two pianos, actually, so you guys are in for a treat. The very first piece that will be on the program today is Beethoven Sonata, first and fourth movements. And this sonata is subtitled The Hunt, mostly because of the fourth movement. It's very rollicking. You'll hear this beat that goes on in the left hand that never stops, this constant rollicking meter. That's very much like galloping on a horse. And then the right hand, the melody is just very fun and very mischievous, and you can really imagine like galloping through the forest, hunting after, I don't know, some animals. Out of all the sonatas that Beethoven wrote, he wrote 32 sonatas, and this one is probably the most lighthearted, the most fun, most enjoyable. So yeah, I hope you enjoy.
Frédéric Chopin wrote 36 waltzes during his lifetime. About half of them were published when he was alive. The other half he wanted destroyed, but thankfully they were published after his death. This waltz has a waltz theme and a mazurka theme, which is a lively Polish dance. Frédéric Chopin wrote 3 grand brilliant waltzes, of which this is the third in the set, and it is indeed both grand and brilliant. This waltz is also known as the cat waltz. As legend goes, Frédéric Chopin's cat used to run across the keyboard of the piano and strike its paws on the first notes of each passage.
So you might have noticed that when Sophie came out, she had very large shoes on, at least 3-inch heels. I don't know how she does it. I couldn't. And these are special shoes that her piano teacher, Dr. Paul, actually gave to her so that she could reach the piano pedals. Yeah, I remember being that age and sitting at the very, very edge of the bench, like about to slide off because I just could not reach the pedals, and it was so terrifying every time I had to play. I really needed those shoes. But yeah. The next piece I guess the first duet that you're going to hear on today's program is an arrangement of Edvard Grieg's Wedding Day at Trollhagen. So Edvard Grieg was a very prolific Norwegian composer. He loved the Norwegian culture and just everything about it, and he had this beautiful home in Norway that was called Trollhagen. And he wrote this piece, The Wedding Day at Trollhagen, to celebrate his and his wife's 25th wedding anniversary. It was originally written just for one piano, or one pianist, so this is an arrangement for 2 pianists. I have to say, I think the next piece on the program is one of my favorites. This is actually going to be a little bit of jazz, about 2.5 minutes. It's a very short piece, but I just love it. It's really great. It's an improvisation by Hazel Scott, who was an American jazz pianist and, well, mostly singer, but also pianist. She was born in 1920 in Trinidad and moved to America, to New York City, actually, at the age of 4. She applied to study at the Juilliard School at the age of 8 and received scholarship to study there as an 8-year-old. I'm going to try to apply there this December as a 21-year-old. So we'll see how that goes. She just was a wonderful pianist and singer, and she was actually the first black woman to have her own TV show in America, which aired, I think, in about the 1940s or so. So she just is a real pioneer, really wonderful, very talented. One of her most famous albums that she released was an album called Fantasy Pieces. And on that album were some jazz transcriptions of very famous classical pieces. So one of them that you're going to be hearing today, this is her jazz improvisation on Rachmaninoff's Prelude in C sharp minor. So you may recognize the first few measures, and then after that, just sit back and be transported.
The next piece I'll be playing is a Chopin scherzo. A scherzo literally means a little joke. Chopin wrote this piece at a very difficult point in his life, as his homeland of Poland was in an uprising and a revolution, so he was forced to leave. The tumult and turmoil in this piece can be shown with the tumultuous chords. In the middle section, there is a little moment of calm and sereneness as Chopin remembers his homeland of Poland and decides to put in a Christmas carol named Sleep Baby Jesus. However, after this, the piece returns to its tumultuous nature.
there thinking, what one adjective word would describe that? And I couldn't come up with one. So then I challenged myself and I said, what would it be like to be in their house with all 4 pianos going at the same time, 48 hours a day for each kid? And I just cannot imagine what that would be like. And Teresa, who is a pianist in her own right, certainly has been a very steady influence on all 4 children. So what would you say is the one adjective? Can't come up with it, can you? To describe that times 4. And with that in mind, to keep said pianos tuned, and I remember John Viner telling me that when Liszt used to perform, John, how many pianos would he break during the concerts? Hit 3 pianos and he would break all 3, or go through 2 at least during a concert when he performed. And I'm thinking how the wear and tear on the practice pianos. So with that segue in mind, we do have contribution in the back set up if you wish to donate for maintenance of these pianos along with piano lessons. And the family is invited afterwards to mingle with the kids and prodigies and to have cookies and refreshments after a short 10-minute intermission. Thank you.
on fire.
Thank you for being here.
Should be on now. All right, if you want to start having your seats, we'll get started. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing or anything up here, so I'm just here to kick off the second part of the show. My name is Jared Taggart, and on behalf of the family, I want to say some thank yous as we start the second part of intermission. There's a couple probably unsung heroes. I'd say the first one is Teresa. She's always out of the spotlight. She always makes me go into the spotlight, which is fine because I love it anyway. Round of applause for Teresa in there. See if she can hear you. Round of applause. Yeah, Teresa. Yeah, I'm in trouble now, so. And thank you to Jeff Hubbard and team back there, unsung hero. He's the one that's doing the live stream today and recording. So thank you, Jeff. Yeah, round of applause. Yeah. Gosh, if him and Teresa were in a battle for a spotlight, that'd be a standoff there, I think. So, and I wanted to thank. We have been coming here now for 15 years, and really humbling every time we come up here. My folks live in Park Rapids. They probably think I should have practiced a little bit more. When I was young, maybe I could have been a little bit better at piano. But I know Jack and Joy Duran team for promotions. I think they've been doing this for 15 years now. Joy, can you correct? Has it been 15 years? Round of applause. Thank you there, back there. So hope you enjoyed the second half of the show. Without further ado, the Quad Taggarts. So take it away.
Beethoven wrote this concerto intending it to be a showcase for his virtuoso piano playing. As the story goes, Beethoven procrastinated until the last minute as he was writing the orchestra parts, his assistants flung the music onto the stands with the ink still wet on them. As Beethoven was sitting down to rehearse, he noticed that his piano was a half step flat. So as the musicians were playing their part as written, Beethoven transposed this piece into a half step up into the key of C sharp major.
Unfortunately, the 20-piece orchestra that we hired did not show up today, so I'll be filling in on ye old upright Philharmonic over here.
Claude Debussy was a composer of the Impressionist period. You will hear 2 pieces on the program today by him. Dr. Gladys is from a set of 6 pieces. And at the beginning of this piece, it makes fun of the tediousness of practicing scales.
Claude Debussy was a French composer in the Impressionistic movement. The Impressionistic movement of music had wide use of whole tone scales and lots of pedal that created new textures and new colors. This piece is from a set of 3 pieces in which Debussy creates musical pictures from around the world: Japan, Spain, and France. Gardens in the Rain is a picture postcard of a windy, rainy day in France. The fast-moving 16th notes sound like approaching rain, and the The jumps and leaps make you think that there's lightning and thunder. But the flourish at the end, the most beautiful of all, sounds like a rainbow. Claude Debussy quotes two children's French songs that add a childlike sense of awe and wonder.
The next piece I'll be playing is the Liszt La Campanella. La Campanella means the bell, and it is taken from a set of Paganini variations for violin. A little fun fact about Paganini, he was so good that people began to call him the devil himself. And I've heard that people actually call me that as well for the same reason.
Well, I'm very excited to close out today's program with another Liszt piece. Liszt is probably my favorite composer, so I think it's especially fitting. The piece that you just heard from Jacob was very exciting. One of Liszt's etudes. The piece that you're going to hear next is a waltz by Liszt, which was a genre that he really didn't dive into all that often, not as much as his etudes. This waltz in particular was inspired by themes from Charles Gounod's opera Faust, which some of you may know the story, the legend of Faust. I'm not really going to get into it right now because it gets a little dark, a little spooky. Maybe it's a very long story also. But the gist of it is that Faust sells his soul to the devil in exchange for eternal youth so he can win over this lovely woman. And we all know how that turns out. Not super well for him. But Liszt was enamored with the opera and with Gounod's writing, and so he took some themes from this opera, Faust, and he made this waltz fantasy for it. And Liszt was such a performer. He was very virtuosic, and he was known for throwing these crazy concerts and just having everyone obsessed with his technique and his playing. So what you're going to hear is a very, very virtuosic and fun and showy version of all these themes. So yeah, hope you enjoy. We really appreciate it. If it's all right with you, Jacob and I have a really quick encore. So, yeah, I invite you to be seated. But once again, thank you for coming. We hope you had a great time, as I know we all did. And we look forward to chatting with you afterwards. Thank you.